what they said in the report no student should encounter. In the preliminary report, someone said that they were concerned about me going out into the world and being a social worker if I couldn't control my emotions well. That this person thought that I was going to, in quote, have a mental breakdown. To read that, knowing that, number one, no mental health provider would ever support that I was mentally unstable. I've worked with at-risk populations. I've worked with the geriatric population since the age of 17 up until I was 8 months pregnant with my daughter in 2018. I've never had a superior question my ability to do my job in the healthcare field. I have worked throughout the prison system through a contract as a medical assistant. I've done thousands of injections. I've done hundreds of EKGs. I have worked at a children's hospital with young children who had tracheas, and I've never experienced my superiors who would speak of me in a way that I was going to not be mentally fit for a job. I find it to be two things. Number one, they took symptoms of a panic attack that has been medically documented nearly all my life. And they took those symptoms that they saw on January 17th and January 24th to call me unprofessional, to question my mental state, and to use against me, to call me. The point I'm saying is that before I reported these individuals, I was none of those things. And then I report you, and I'm all of a sudden not fit. I've been accused of violating the code of ethics. I've been accused of not getting consent for an email that I didn't even know I needed consent, and I was only speaking on the behalf of a few students. And it's not a reason to get dismissed. So much has happened, Ashley, but I'll tell you this. The same person that dismissed me is the same person that showed up to my second appeal hearing and upheld their decision. And in upholding their decision, and I quote, based on the documentation and evidence that I reviewed, I support my decision to dismiss Tashia Tate from the MSW program. Let me say this again. She dismissed me from the MSW program. The letter is drafted by her, coming from her. She is the author. So I appealed according to the policy to the staff member that dismissed me. Then she's the one that issued these documentations that I have in front of me. At the appeal hearing, on a recording with the president of the NAACP Providence chapter, says that she upheld this decision based on evidence. And I put that loosely in quotes. And then I won my appeal based on 3 individuals who are doctorates in the field of social work who reviewed all evidence and determined that this dismissal, I didn't warrant it. And that I was they highlighted to be immediately re-enrolled into the MSW program in time to start my classes before September 11th. And then they also wrote in their letter they recommended a full and thorough investigation into systemic white supremacy in the school and college. They also rebuked the individual who called me hostile because I reported the harassment of 2 peers. And instead of the college reaching out to meet with me to figure out what is going on, without my knowledge, these 2 students wrote emails that spoke of me like I was a monster. The college sent private emails that these students wrote, and that was used to dismiss me in part from the program. One student said, "What is supposed to be a safe place for me as a student, the classroom, I have reservations about attending class at this point." This is what one student said. "I worry about being in a classroom with an individual like this. How can we feel comfortable in a classroom with this person going forward? I am hoping for your support in this matter and making the school a safe place for students."
That's interesting. That's a interesting choice of words to use, a safe place, as if you have physically or mentally or emotionally harmed this person. I mean, what was there any kind of serious interactions that you had with this individual, or was it just like a passive thing? I'm so confused that they would utilize that as you being a form of aggressive.
This came after I reported who I was friendly with in the program and was just really getting to know. And there was a communication exchange on a Saturday, and I had put a very clear boundary in place. And that boundary was to not continue on with their interaction. Shared with the School of Social Work private text messages. They were protecting these students like if I was really dangerous. Why is it that a person of color stands up for themselves, not cursing, speaking directly, calling it for what it is? You're harassing me. Leave me alone. And I'm reprimanded for it? That's why I love that during the second appeal, the academic committee spoke on it. Yeah, I wasn't protected. So whatever resources the college has, I didn't get to benefit those resources. I did not have the same privilege as other students.
Wow, and I definitely want to shift gears in a bit, but before I do want to ask, what would you like to see happen for you out of all of this? Like, what is the end goal for you?